What's going on, guys? Today on this Shoky review, we're going to take a look at this HG Iron-Blooded Orphans Gundam Kimaris Vidar. And of course, this is the final evolution of the Kimaris, though technically speaking, and it may or may not cover it on the box, it's supposed to be how it originally looked, and everything we've seen before is all just different refits. I don't know. But we got some really, really nice box art going on here. We got the Vidar Kimaris Vidar, Vidarmus going on right there. We've got what appears to be a graze blowing up a little bit right there. We've got some really nice explosions all happening back here with some stuff. And you've got Gaelio, hard to say his name, Gaelio, right there with his really crazy hair. I don't know why the boy couldn't get a haircut, and a big scar across his face. And of course, Iron-Blooded Orphans logo there, HG IBO, Kimaris Bandai 2017. And if we come to the bottom, you get the obligatory rear and front shot. And it looks pretty cool. You get equipped with a drill lance, and the sword is mountable on the side armor. Very nice. Then you've got sub-arms on the back are flexible, and then by replacing the position of one shield, the posture for launching Dine is reproduced. Yay. Except you don't think you ever see it do that. You got grip hand. You got hand for drill lance. Not only the grip hands, but a hand component to hold the drill lance is included. Yay! Okay, cool. And then you've got, I just realized like this, the side of the box looks funky. If it looks like it's kind of foggy, that's not just the camera. That's actually in life. By attaching the drill part, the drill knee is reproduced. That it is. The arms are movable and partially inserting or pulling the shoulder joints halfway out. I think that's pretty much all of them. And equipped with an exclusive sword. This is true. And we come around to this side. You got the IBO logo there. Number 35 in the line. Once again, not that many kits, despite how many kits there really are. And you got BandaiHobby.net. And a repeat of the purple Gundam there. Now, if you come to this side, of course, you get Customize. So you got him fighting with Bael right there. And you got him with the Battle Blade. Whatever. That's the spare sword that I believe it came with one of the option parts sets, and the ground type Grace used that, and they threw the Kimaris booster on there for some reason, though that looks totally ridiculous. And you've got, that's him there with the Buster sword, which once again doesn't use. That's okay. And you've got a do not stick an avenging Gundam in your 3-year-old's face because it will hurt them. And you got 1,400 yen there. You got a little guy with the toilet, and wow. You got illustration by Magaki Ryuta and finish work by Soito Yoshinobu. Fourth time we've seen this Gundam. Still upside down. And I just got plastic shavings everywhere. Alright, let's get to that build montage. Alright guys, so here we have the KIMARIS VIDAR and all of his weapons, and of course we'll like to take a look at all those accessories first. And first and foremost, the easiest thing to look at is this cool sword. Now, I think he did use this in the series, though I kinda don't remember, not gonna lie. I like it, it's molded all in a single piece. Nice curved edge, a little bit of molding, and you do have a big hole right there, is what it is. So, looks pretty cool. And of course, like any other HGIBO weapon, for the most part, it just slides into the hand, and he slices and dices and makes Julianne McGillis's. Now, you do also store this weapon. It's not the best way to do it, but it's definitely a way to do it. And you see right here, this peg goes inside said hole. Now, you can't struggle and fight to get it in there from the outside. You're gonna have to do it the hard way. Gotta pull the side skirt off, and it does just peg in there like all other IBO side skirts, because of course you see your thing there. And you just peg that on like so. It's a very snug fit, so it's not gonna go anywhere once it's on there. However, once it is on there, it is slightly in the way, as it's completely sticking out the backside now. So you're gonna have to be careful while you're playing with your little shield booster on the back. So you're gonna have to just finagle it around. Luckily this arm does move around quite a bit, so gives you a little bit of maneuverability. So looks like that. That's not too bad. There's been worse weapon storage, I think, but it looks good. It's functional. Now next, we can look at the little drill for the knees. Now, I added a little bit of silver paint in there just to break it up, but you definitely don't have to. I might actually thin that out a little bit, make it look like it's just a little worn, instead of just brightly silvered. But it does go into the knee, just like it did from the series. And you got this nice yellow extension here. And this kit, by the way, guys, I'll cover more later, has amazing color separation for an HG. So you just got a big old peg like so. It just goes right in there. And you can totally drill somebody through the torso or however you want to. I find it a really strange place to put it, but it is very effective. And it almost looks as though it would totally fit inside that whole knee cavity. So it's pretty neat. I'm glad they included the accessory. And last but not least, we have to look at the giant drill lance, because with this version of the KIMARIS, he goes back to being a lancer instead of a little gunfighter slash fencer. And this thing is huge. I think other than long and pointiness, this is probably the largest weapon. No, actually, I take that back. I think... yeah, actually, the other two versions of KIMARIS, their lances are actually bigger. But, you know, this one is effective. It is a drill down here. It doesn't move by any means, but you see the nice, now that I look at it, almost heart-shaped drill effect going on there. Not super pointy, so, I mean, it'll drill through something. I don't know exactly what. And you've got what I believe to be some kind of Vulcan right there and there. And you've got the two big holes right through there. Nicely molded handle. This actually, even though it's a kind of a hollow effect, doesn't look terrible, so I'm not actually complaining about that. And you get a nice big yellow back piece for that. Now, of course, you can put it in his hand as normal. You just pull that off, and it is a D-shaped peg to go into the back there. So any other weapon, you just kind of insert like so. Find the flat side, like so, and he will hold it straight up and down like that, or even at a slight angle. So I gotta fix the feet and the legs, get a little bit squat there. So you can totally hold it, you know, but realistically you don't want to use this hand. You're probably going to want to use the thumbs down hand, probably a thumbs up hand too, I'm not sure. So real easy, of course. Yoink, yoink. And these things are actually pretty well invaluable for at least the KIMARIS. And as I'm learning with another kit I'm working on, could really use a lance hand. So I think I might have a spare one somewhere, but if I don't, I'm going to have to snag one from somebody else. But it does work. I like it. You totally get the lancing forward thrusting thing. Though I kind of wish they had made a slightly more robust wrist connection for holding it up when it's like this. That happens. Because, I mean, it looks a little ridiculous. Plus you got to balance the weight. Because the handle is so thin and so flimsy, you just got to really balance the weight of this thing. And of course, it's cool. Now, of course, it has the I might have to take that sword off. It's kind of annoying me. Now you got a big lance in your face. Okay, so I'd keep knocking off the shield boosters. So, of course, you do get interaction with the shield booster weapons. So I'll show that off right quick. We'll look at one of these. Since that one fell off, we'll look at it up close. You do have a nice molded purple detail here. I really actually like this light purple. And you get the family crest there. Cannot think for the life of me what Baldwin? Yeah, the Baldwin. I think it's Baldwin, but they have to spell Baldwin. So, Baldwin family crest. It's a horsey with a star and a crown. Either way. So, this thing does do the launching gimmicks. Well, not gimmick, but it actually does launch stuff. So, if you kind of extend all this. And by the way, everything is molded in like a brown. And it's not like... It doesn't seem to be the same like Gundam frame brown. It's a new brown, I think. Alright, so if you pull that off, you see under here, you've got two kind of peg holes and 2 sets of slots. And of course that corresponds to this guy. Having a hard time focusing. But also painted this section, and my favorite is dark gray ever because it needed to be gray, not purple. And you can see right in here, just kind of kick that guy out a little bit. Go ahead and reattach this at the higher or lower open setting. And I'm not entirely certain if these are thrusters or guns. It doesn't really specify. But what you have here is the Dine Slave launcher. So even then, you had Dine Slaves being used against the mobile armors, but a Gundam actually had it. Or they updated it just to be annoying. Now, as far as I remember in the series, you never ever saw this used in this manner. But what you want to do, the way you slide that in and out, you see it's got a tab right there. Focus. And then, of course, the hole is slotted. Go ahead and put the arm back together because it fell apart on you. That is part of it. The arm is going to fall apart on you. Now you can slide this guy through the front of the drill lance and it will stop like so. And using all of the ball joints and hinges at your disposal, just line the hole up like so. And see how that didn't align properly to the point of staying together. You're gonna encounter that quite a bit, but it's just a ball joint, so you can make it win like so. And now you've got the Dine Slave launching mode. That's pretty cool, even though he never technically used it in the series. Alright, so let's look at some details. This guy did come with quite a few stickers to put on, but I didn't use, well, hardly any of them, if at all. So I definitely used the Baldwin family stickers. Wasn't about to paint that. Now, the arms right here, this entire back half of the elbow, that is all supposed to be a purpley matching sticker. I went ahead and hit that with that kind of Gundam gray, that purpley gray color. I think it looks okay. It has a little bit of color differential, but definitely breaks up the white of the arm. Same thing here. Favorite is dark gray ever instead of using the stickers. And you guys can tell I used this bright purple here on the hoses. This is actually from that marker kit, as we saw already. And then, of course, chrome in there on the pistons, as usual. And then purple there. I like this purple, realistically, and I think it looks very good just to break up some of that color. And you also got yellow paint here for the front skirts. Couldn't think of the word. But you could totally use a sticker there if you want. Also painted favorite of dark gray ever on this front thruster bit there, or vent or whatever. I need to clean that up just a little bit. All of these extra thrusters around the skirts. The word skirt is avoiding me today. I put some of that new gold in there just because it's totally unnecessary. But even back here on the back skirt, you can see that. And from back here, you can see I did purple on those hoses. I think that looks just absolutely phenomenal. I wasn't sure on if these heels or anything needed color, so I didn't bother with them. Now, if you guys are paying attention, I've had this guy sitting flat-footed like this. It has, in all the images, basically it going more like perched foot, like so. I have had nothing but issues getting him to balance like that. So you've only got this tiny tip of a toe here, and this tiny, well, not really tiny, but small-ish heel spur to really try to keep it balanced. And I've found that it does not like that. I've also found that the way that this front leg armor, you can watch it there, the way that this front leg armor, the way it sandwiches, does not like the feet being moved. It tends to split. Now, if you got him perched up on the toes, he becomes very back heavy. So you're going to want to lean him forward as best you can, kind of hunch him this way. Now, another couple details, just a tiny bit of gray right in here on the shoulder dealies. Don't even know what those are, technically speaking, but I painted them. This little bitty crest right there will be a quote-unquote main camera. It would be a gray sticker with a tiny silver dot. I went ahead and hit that with my favorite dark gray ever. And the eyes, which I'm going to have a very hard time getting in there because this Kimaris, his eyes are very inset. Perfect right there. This is just laying down is how you have to look at the eyes. I hit the rest of the face with the flat gray and then hit the eyes with that new gold marker. And even though it's really hard to see except when you're tilting it like this, I think it looks absolutely awesome. Now, let me know if you guys had any issues. That faceplate being so small, it really didn't want to go in all the way. I'm still fairly certain it's not actually pushed in completely. I really like the way the head helmet, quote-unquote, layers. I love that you get this yellow insert piece here on the side. It's not a sticker. And as I mentioned already, the color separation is amazing. See, like even this part is actually a layered white piece. The entire that's from underneath here pokes up through the chest. In the past, I guarantee that would have been a couple stickers. The yellow parts all through here are all, layered yellow parts. The knees, as I've already pointed out, where the drills come out, that's a layered piece in between. This is not even a sticker. In the past, these have all been stickers in every other version. These vents here, not a sticker. These purple parts, not a sticker. So it's like right at the end of the line, they decided to go all out with designing this thing. I really do like what they've done, other than maybe the color aspect of it. But, it is what it is. So you do get the combination of purple, yellow, off-white, and brown. I don't know if the brown was always supposed to be that way. For some reason, to me, it makes it look very chickeny. It looks like these look like big fat chicken legs to me. And then you got the thin ankle part and then little feetsies. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. And I should have panel lined these little parts here, but I think they just, they're a little too shallow. They didn't want to panel line properly. But let's go ahead and do articulation. It is a Gundam. Should be fairly good articulation. Same standard ball jointed head, so we can look down quite a bit, look up quite a bit. That's a very big horn, by the way. Can rotate possibly all the way around if you clear the shoulders. There we go. So I can see the neck itself is trying to rotate, not just the head. That's annoying. Come on, rotate your neck back the other way, Vidar. And unlike normal, I left the safety flags on the V-fin. I figured that actually wasn't doing anybody any harm. The shoulders, same kind of Gundam shoulders. And without having a huge V-fin in the way, he can shrug very nicely. The armor does flip-flop just like it should. And this is also expertly layered. Really dig the way it is. This actually really reminds me of Grimgeared shoulders, just the way they go together. So you've got that. Arm could go all the way around if the rear arms are not in the way, but you can get a good high teacher. Hi. Yeah. Rotate around. Bicep rotation. Single jointed elbow, a little bit better than 90. Wrist, standard HGIBO wrist, no biggie there. Ab crunch as standard as one of these Gundams has. And once again, like I did with the Bael, I did the gluing of the two pieces of the center section together. Hopefully it'll stay, because otherwise I feel it's going to come loose, especially with this much weight on this back. You can see already it's very, very easy to manipulate. So if I didn't have that, it probably would be way worse. Now I do still have the problem with the center polycap ball joint where it wants to slip and fall out sometimes. That I've had a lot on the second generation of these suits. But you can rotate still, no problem. Just once again, something you want to be careful of. These side skirts are very big, but you should be able to get a decent Jean-Claude for what it is. And you can see the yellow of the back skirt. I think, could be wrong, I think you have the hip shimmy shimmy. Okay, I can't grab these giant legs. You do have the hip shimmy shimmy. You can kick forward, by the way. Separate your front skirts, they will hold on. So you can kick really far forward, pretty much straight on Spartan kick. And then, of course, you can get like the pinchy feet. Like you can with pretty much any of these Gundams, you can get those pinchy feet. Thigh rotation will be the same as always. And you have an extremely limited knee because of the armor. So it can only go that far. You only get about 90 degrees out of it, but this is meant to be a spaceborne suit. It doesn't really matter. You're just going to kick, and you're going to thrust a drill into somebody's face. It's almost like it should have had another knee down here and let the bottom move, but obviously that's not going to work. So, same Gundam feet as always, but once again, right there, you can see how that is split open with however that is moving. So, the problem being, I think, is that that ball joint is, yeah, that's what's happening. The polycap that's right here, when it rotates, it splits that. So that might be a thing to have to glue shut, so you get the foot rotation, toe point as we've shown. And if you want to get him flat-footed, you have to kick the foot all the way back, then rotate that under, and that'll give you all the stability you could ever want, plus a really weird-looking clog-type foot. Now this is very abrupt, though. I found that strange. Like, that's just done, you know. But, yeah. And then, of course, you come to the back. And you have rotation here, all the rotation there, hinge here, and up here with the ball joint. So, realistically, probably the best kind of sub-arms you can really expect. Get in there. Now for a quick comparison. Here he is with his rival, the Bael. The king of demons who you should bow down to. So, obviously, you know, they are what they are. It's like these two ex-best friends, quote-unquote. And I put them up on the stand just to kind of put them in a dynamic pose. But I actually want to see the size comparison, because Kimaris has always been weird in its proportions and its design. So let's see it next to Vidar. Realistically, all of these guys are essentially the same. Actually, the frame is dead on for every one of these. It's exactly the same frame, with the exception of the ones that have to have modified legs. Obviously, those are probably the only ones that are a little bit different. But I'm wondering if just these high feet are the issue here. So he's got to have the tippy toes. But that's those two together. Let me get that out of the way. And here he is with all the previous iterations of the Kimaris. And yeah, I'm throwing the big guy back in there because technically speaking, part of that is inside here. We just didn't know it. And, you know, it's funny, except for the actual Gundam Vidar, he has retained the yellow or golden eyes up even until here. Now, it's just, and I brought it up before, it's so strange that, okay, we saw this first, then we get the modified version with the Trooper, so this is the quote-unquote ground-type battle mode, with its hover feet and all that, which is strange to say the least. And then you get the Vidar, which is a complete disguise, but then they refit it into something completely different. This version, there was almost nothing wrong with what the Vidar had going on, but they went ahead and just do a full-on refit and make it into the KIMARIS Vidar, which takes everything to a completely different level. There's nothing that any of these things share. They're just minor hints that maybe it's the same Gundam. I mean, these front skirts are similar to Vidar's. None of these shoulder armor is remotely the same. The chest armor is kind of similar between the Trooper and regular Vidar. This one has the big tall head, normal V-fin. This one has the very tall crest. This one just has a V-fin and a couple small horns. This has a V-fin and very tall, ridiculous crest. The shoulders aren't even remotely the same. The forearms aren't honestly close on any of them. It has the least amount of purple, probably. But the fact that he didn't go this purple, which would have been fine. The funny thing is, the marker that I used, the high new colored purple, is almost a perfect match to this. But he goes with this darker gray purple that actually does match this. And, well, not quite the blue on the other things in navy, but it's so funny. The only thing that really is a callback is the same off-white. Other than that, it's all pretty much the same. You keep the triangles. This is the only one that really has a big triangle emblem. So you've got it here. You got it here. Of course, it's on the skirts. But, you know, it's just like, I don't even know. So if this is how it originally looked, someone tell me how we got to this. Because if this is an effective killing machine in space, why do we need this space version? Mind you, the booster doesn't really add into that, but you know, it is what it is. Out of all of these, I gotta say, like Vidar, regular Vidar, I like the quick lancing version. And I like the very specific rifle, honestly, that we never see again. Because he gives up on having guns after having a whole lot of cool guns. And goes back to using a small sword and a giant lance, which I meant to actually put the lance in his hand and I forgot. I don't even know. It's like this one actually has a lot of coolness going on, but like the bulk on the bottom half, which I guess is nothing out of the ordinary realistically, but thank God for no transforming legs. But I think the slimmed down, slightly more evil version with Vidar, I think, is my favorite out of the KIMARIS variants, as it were. But for final thoughts, guys, I really do dig this kit. I think for the money, you get a lot of cool gimmicks. You get a very cool looking Gundam. If you go with the stickers, you probably won't be too sad. These are going to be a pain to fold, I guarantee it. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of downside. The backpack is a little bit heavy, and I wish the butt skirt moved. It's one of the only ones that, you know, while he still has the same huge butt skirt, it doesn't actually articulate. I kind of missed that. And if you really want to get into some fun and kit bashing, maybe swap on like some trooper legs onto this guy, something like that. Or really mix it up, throw some Vidar stuff in there. Because even the Vidar side skirts probably wouldn't look too bad. You know, they're pretty much solid gray. But I don't know. There's so much you can do with this thing. It's actually not bad looking right there. The only thing that sucks, the legs are thick and beefy and not super posable. That backpack is so heavy that it does drag it down a little bit, so that part kind of sucks. But other than that, it's a very, very nice, very good Gundam. And if you're an IBO fan like me, you kind of have to have it in your collection because, well, it is what it is. It's the final Gundam we technically get to see. But guys, that's it for this review. If that's it for, God damn it. Alright guys, but that's it for this review. If you like this video, make sure you leave me a thumbs up down below. And of course, if you're new here and you dig this thing, you want to stick around, hit that subscribe button down here somewhere, wherever the subscribe button is, somewhere over here. And hit the little bell if you want to be notified every time I put up a new video, which is pretty much every day anyways. I want to thank my patrons as usual, John, Andy, Steve, and Colby. You guys are great. If you guys are interested in the Patreon, it's going to be right here on the bottom of the screen. Go over there and you can see how you can possibly help the channel keep going. If you want to help out but not have to do the Patreon thing, you could also buy some merch. So I've got a couple different shirt designs here, everywhere, and you can check those things out. Also, if you're interested, and by all means, the Lupus for Lupus contest, all the information is down there in the description below, and I will link to the video instructions over here. And thanks to Zeta Gunpla for actually putting out his video describing everything. It's a little bit shorter, not quite as in detail as mine was, but that's okay if you really want to get to the point. Yeah, you can totally watch his video. So guys, if you haven't entered the contest yet, tickets are still way available. Of course, if you want to buy any of the merch, there's some amazing designs from several different artists on the website. So go check those things out. I will catch you guys on the next review. And remember, as always, keep on building.